Today I want to share with you some classic principles about building wealth and how you can take charge of your own financial destiny. While there are thousands of different methods for building real, lasting wealth, there are actually only a handful of principles that you will see repeated time and time again by all the gurus in all of the books. Most of the principles for building massive wealth, they're largely the same across all of those sources. But funnily, even though the recipe for building wealth has basically stayed constant for a very long time, not many people actually follow through on these simple principles. But if you study the fundamentals of building massive wealth and then you act on those principles, then you will likely succeed in building massive wealth for yourself. And if you are here watching this video, then I must assume that you are at least a little bit interested in having such a possibility for your life. Because, let's be honest, no one really wants to spend their life as a wage slave, working your butt off for decades for what is in the end not likely to be crazy amounts of money anyway. All the while clinging to the illusion of security of your job, spending 50 weeks a year looking forward to 2 weeks of vacation time, and then hopefully retiring with enough pension money to be able to survive in your later years. All that time and effort just to help someone else fulfill their dreams. It doesn't need to be that way. There is another way. There is another way. And the principles are actually surprisingly simple in theory, but devilishly difficult for many people to execute because sadly far too many people will simply not act on these principles. Instead, they run around blaming all the external factors for their financial woes. It's the economy, it's their job, it's their parents, it's the president, it's Wall Street, etc., etc., etc. You guys know the lines, right? Take responsibility for your own financial destiny because it is the only way that you will change your financial destiny. And look, there are many ways that you can invest your money. It could be stocks, it could be real estate, it could be starting your own business, whatever it might be. But this is a cryptocurrency channel, so this video will be exploring the principles of investing and of building wealth in relation to Bitcoin. And I want to begin this conversation with mindset. Understand that anybody can become incredibly wealthy. That includes you. Because wealth is a mindset in the same way that poverty is a mindset. How much money you have is only a small part of the equation. It really varies from person to person depending on needs and desires and wants and all these different things. Realize that your level of financial success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. As an example, you will not become a good crypto trader without spending hundreds of hours learning the ins and outs of how to trade. So invest in yourself and get motivated. And motivation, that's something that needs to be deep. Sure, money buys things. Fancy houses, watches, drugs, cars, big bank accounts, whatever. But money does not buy happiness. It simply doesn't. Thus, there are limits of how motivated these external goals will keep you over time. Real long-term success in building your wealth requires a deep motivation. Having these internal goals affect you in a much deeper way than just the external trappings of wealth. And I'm not saying you can't buy yourself a nice car. Buy yourself a nice car, that's fine. But that just getting a car as your goal, that's really too shallow to give you that kind of devouring devotion necessary to truly succeed in the long term. Things are great, sure, but consider the following. Freedom. Nice word, isn't it? Break loose from the prison of your 9-to-5 job and all that fun stuff. Spend more time doing what you want to do instead of doing what you have to do. Spend more time with your family, travel more, paint more, whatever it might be. Freedom is up to you. freedom of time, it's massive. The most important resource in the world. Charity is another big motivator. Now, it might seem kind of funny to spend all this time making all that money just to give it away, but all these organizations out there, they need money. You do not need to be a wildlife ranger to help conservation efforts of endangered animals in Asia, nor do you need to be an undercover detective to help rescue children from sexual slavery. Your money can have a massive impact by supporting the people who are fighting these issues. The more you have, the more you can give. The more wealth you create, the bigger the impact you can have. And as a side bonus, charitable giving usually can be a tax write-off anyway. Now, what about personal growth? When you have a certain level of financial freedom, it can allow you more time to pursue personal freedom and personal goals, things that enrich your own personal life. Thus, you can create a situation where the wealth of your outer world becomes a mirror to the wealth of your inner world, giving you the time and the money to learn those new skills or maybe learn a new language. Becoming someone that others can look up to can also be a big motivating factor for many people. Creating wealth ethically and with a mindset of joy and abundance is bound to attract other people. People that will want to change their destiny like you changed yours. You can be a light and a mentor for these people. Now, why do I bring up all these examples? Because you are going to encounter many problems that will test you in crazy ways that you've never even imagined. And you must overcome these on your journey to financial freedom. And buying a new car is probably not going to provide the motivation to keep overcoming those obstacles time and time again. You need a deeper purpose, a deeper drive. Because to keep in the game long enough to succeed, you have got to be driven by a commitment that is more fundamental than just the lifestyle that having more money can buy. The next principle, belief. Because building massive wealth is unlikely to happen unless you have a strong belief that you deserve to have wealth and that you have the capability to generate that wealth. Now look, simply believing you'll be rich won't magically make it happen. But it is insurmountably difficult to achieve wealth unless you have an unwavering belief that you deserve this life. People who spend their whole life hoping to win the lottery, those people are stuck in a poverty mindset. That $20 a week they're spending on the lottery could have been invested. But instead they keep chasing that instant win to become a millionaire, hoping for a quick fix, even if they keep buying lottery tickets for their entire life. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? It's 'cause it is. One path, investing, almost guarantees financial success over your lifetime. The other, the lottery, almost guarantees financial failure. By contrast, an abundance mindset that firmly believes that you will succeed no matter what, that will take you very far in life. Many of the world's richest people saw wealth as inevitable. In their minds, success was assured. It was simply a matter of staying the course and taking the steps needed to turn their belief into a reality. The good news is that anyone can cultivate this abundance wealth mentality. You can start right now. Sit down, make a list of what you are grateful for. Gratitude is an incredibly powerful tool. Chances are you are already living with so much abundance, you're going to be surprised by how wealthy you might already be. The next key principle is to be disciplined. Wealth doesn't just happen overnight, right? Wealth is the cumulative result of many years of many little things all added together and then compounded. Your daily habits will make or break your success in the long term. Saving, investing, reinvesting, growing your financial and your business and intellectual capabilities, all of that stuff is incredibly important. And those habits require persistent and consistent effort and diligence to be successful. Without the discipline to see these things through, you are going to struggle to achieve your dreams. And without discipline, you run the real risk of being a victim to the eater of dreams and the destroyer of success. Procrastination. There is no substitute for action, guys. Excuses end in regret. There is no magic woo-woo spell that's going to make you wealthy. There are only time-tested, actionable plans and strategies that require discipline and courage to see them through. Sounds kind of boring, but it's the way it happens. Your financial liberation is not likely to magically appear out of thin air. Wealth happens because you make it happen. Often the richest and the wealthiest individuals were the ones that started the earliest and waited the longest. Interesting, isn't it? What you see today with these wealthy people is likely the result of many decades of diligence and mental fortitude to pull that off. Sadly, too many people prevent themselves from building wealth because they want it and they want it now. That kind of short-term thinking and need for instant gratification is simply not going to make you wealthy. It's just not. And Bitcoin, I think, is the perfect example of this. If you want to get rich off Bitcoin tomorrow, probably not going to work out for you. But if you dollar cost average into Bitcoin weekly, then every year would result in positive returns at today's prices. And yes, that includes buying the top at $20,000. In fact, even if you started dollar cost averaging in at $20,000 and bought Bitcoin every Friday up until last Friday, then you would be ahead big time in your investment. An easy way to visualize this is just to have like a me tax, a tax that takes a portion of your paycheck every week and puts it into Bitcoin. There is tremendous room for Bitcoin to grow in the coming decades. And those people who are dollar cost averaging in 2019 into Bitcoin are going to reap massive rewards in the coming years. But those people who sat around waiting for 2K and are still waiting for 2K, or who simply were not in and were not stacking Bitcoin, will not be able to reap those long-term rewards. Be disciplined about investing and be in the damn market. Perfectly timing the bottom is something that 99.9% of people will not do. So just get that auto buy set up to buy your weekly bit of Bitcoin and play the long game. So the next principle is to create multiple income streams and passive income. The simple premise here is that you will not get wealthy by trading your time for money. 65% of self-made millionaires had 3 streams of income. How many do you have? Because if you limit your wealth creation potential to the hours that you work, then you are always going to hit a ceiling. You are, after all, just one person. But there are lots of clever services and ways that you can expand your impact. It could just be buying and holding Bitcoin. But there are lots of classic ways to get your money working for you. You could be buying stocks, for example, or you could be buying and then renting out properties. Classic ways, right? Or even holding money in a savings account in a bank that used to be a thing, but times are changing and they're changing fast. Buying a house to rent out is not as easily accessible to many people as it once was. And savings accounts, come on, man, savings accounts, they're an absolute joke. They give almost nothing to investors and they don't even keep up with inflation by a long shot. Stocks are still making a lot of people rich, but in the crypto context, there are a few simple ways to get your money working for you. Obviously, anything that's not just buying and holding Bitcoin carries some greater degree of risk, so you must be aware of those risks and understand the risk to reward profile of any crypto-related passive income systems. Let's start with staking. Staking is a great way to earn more coins of a cryptocurrency that you believe in and think has long-term potential. Make sure to spend a lot of time doing your due diligence here, because spending $10,000 for a 7% return in a cryptocurrency might seem like a great idea until the market tanks or that cryptocurrency fails to attract users or fails simply to become relevant. Then your $10,000 turns into $1,000 or $100 at 7% a year. Nice. That being said, getting into promising staking coins early has made many an investor rich. Then there are exchange coins like NEX and COS and BitMax and KUCOIN, all of which pay dividends based on the percentage of tokens that you hold and how much volume happens on the exchange. Then there is lending. Platforms like BlockFi allow you to earn Bitcoin interest on your Bitcoin. You lend it to the platform, they lend it out to a third party like a market maker, and that allows you then to earn a yearly percentage on your Bitcoin. Now, if you're worried about lending out your Bitcoin, I totally get it. Not your keys, not your coin. It's absolutely true. But you can also lend out stable coins on platforms like BlockFi. So if you're sitting on dollars in a bank account earning less than 0.1% interest, then it's definitely worth considering some of these services, even for just a small percentage of your fiat holdings. And your stablecoin loan can then be paid out in Bitcoin. So if you want more Bitcoin instead of stablecoins back, that's the way to do it. By the way, BlockFi is giving away $50 in Bitcoin. Yes, $50 in Bitcoin to anyone who signs up using the link down below and makes a deposit into their interest-bearing account by the end of the month. Link down below where you can check that out and get your free Bitcoin. Now, BlockFi is a service that's better for anyone looking to make smaller loans, especially for those who are just wanting to check out how these services work or make some experimental loans. Whereas crypto.com is better for those looking to make bigger deposits, since they have a premium tier, which does require a bigger investment, but also has a bigger payout potential, as it gives an additional 2% interest. So it's Bitcoin at 8% and stablecoins up to 12%, which is massive. There's a link down below where you can claim your $50 bonus for getting a premium account over on crypto.com. Anyway, those are some crazy high rates, and those rates reflect both the high demand for these crypto assets in the lending and borrowing markets, and also, to an extent, the risk of lending on these platforms. Whatever path you choose, whether it be the crypto platforms or with stocks or with real estate or just buying and holding Bitcoin, remember that every dollar you make is like a little seed that can grow and then can sprout more dollars if you know how to do it. Most people will never know the joy of waking up in the morning to discover that they have made hundreds of dollars from passive income while they were sleeping. The holy grail of passive income. That can be you, but you need money to actually start making money. And your job obviously is a place to start. Tax yourself from your job, start investing some of that money, right? But you can easily get a side hustle. It's 2019. The opportunities are endless if you put your mind to it. You can be making videos on YouTube, right? Or you could get a website talking about the crypto markets, or just reposting stuff from other people, for example, being an aggregator of news. You can start affiliate marketing for cool products that you believe in. That has effect as a great passive income opportunity. And a lot of these affiliate programs actually pay you out in Bitcoin. So it's another great way to get yourself some Bitcoin. And if that is not your thing, then it could be flipping stuff on eBay that you buy at yard sales. I used to do that when I was a teenager and into my early 20s. Not yard sales specifically, sometimes yard sales, but not mostly. Mostly it was buying and selling magic cards and other collectible cards and figurines and stuff like that. And it could be very lucrative and a fun way to generate some extra cash until you build up enough capital to simply let it run by itself. All of that side hustle income, you put it into Bitcoin or you put it into something which can provide you a passive income, and you build yourself over time. If you put your mind to it, there are 1,000,001 ways to leverage your existing skills and your existing networks to increase your income and to create new opportunities for yourself, but you have to get out there and you have to get doing it. Anyway, those are some of the key principles of wealth creation that have over time made many a millionaire and billionaire and others, I guess. No trillionaires. But anyway, you guys get the point. Let me know what you think about any of my thoughts here in this video down below in the comment section. As always, you guys are totally awesome. So thank you so much for coming out here and listening to today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.